guys, that's your Racial Legends. Welcome to the video. I'm not alone. I am joined by first-time guest, longtime friend, man, Vulcan. What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, dude. I was talking to you before. I'm just keen to be able to stop my 15-minute timer in this game. It has been my life, especially for the last 2 weeks. But
dude, it has been my life too.
It's my life. It's now or never.
I've been grinding live arena and it's like a full-time job, but you've been the opposite, man. You've been grinding a brand new free-to-play account, and you just set, as far as I can see, I checked the Discord, I conferred with Bront, who's the record keeper. I think you set a world record, bro. You claimed Arbiter before Khatun?
Same day.
Free-to-play?
On day 30 of login, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
That is absolutely insane. Insane. So 30 days, you got your hands 100% free to play on Arbiter. You finished Arbiter missions. And by the way, I should mention, you have Vulcan, Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel. You're killing it. You are a vet, though, in the scene. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. You've played a ton of games. Again, you've been making content for like a decade now, right? Around that?
Yeah, 7 years or so, yeah. Yep.
So,
So basically, yeah, I've been making content for about 7 years through always gotcha games. It's the only thing I've ever covered. My first gotcha game that I actually played was Summoner's War, which I played for 5 years before I started making content. So I've always loved the turn-based, the grindy turn-based genre. And lately, games have all turned to the real hyper-casual, PvE only. And I just I played through a beta of another game, and I was just like, and it's like this format. I was just like, dude, I need to play one of these grindy games again. And so I jumped into Raid.
What, you get pushed?
Yeah.
I only played Raid briefly in its soft launch like 7 years ago. And I was thinking about covering it back then, but I went for the idle games instead because I just had my son. I was, starting the family and stuff. It was a bit easier playing idle games than the grindy based ones. And so, so that's sort of how it happened. And just getting back into those grindy games, which I absolutely love.
What made you want to do it free to play? Do you approach every game in this genre free to play, or did you decide to do that specifically for Raid? What motivated you to do that?
Yeah, so if anyone's seen me in other games, I'm kind of like the free to play sweat lord. I have like the biggest debuff as a creator, where if I spend money on an account, I quit it the next day. The amount of games I've spent $500 to $1,000 in a day on, and then quit playing it the next day is ridiculous. I just enjoy playing games as free to play. It's sort of like, for me, it's like that's the rule set I play to. As soon as I spend, it's like, okay, I'm sort of skirting around that rule, and then I can just do it on the other rule. And it's like, it just, for me, my personal enjoyment, I just like having the free to play as my fixed rule, and then I don't have to worry about anything else. And that's like my own self enjoyment challenge type thing that I do.
That's really cool, man. I appreciate the hustle. I mean, you've been messaging me like almost on the daily with the dude, like, I haven't slept all day.
Yeah.
I'm on mission, whatever the heck, So you have been grinding hard. I'm looking at your champions right now. Who would you say has been like your MVP on the account?
Well, obviously Nut. Now, I do think you can definitely.
You got Nut, yeah. First of all, or Nut, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like just my nightmare campaign set of speed artifacts just fell into be crit damage, defense percent, and they worked perfectly well. So when you clear the campaign on nightmare, you get the chest that has the stuff. And so that just worked well for him. Now, if I didn't have him or Alice, because Alice is gone now, I put in my video, I think that I would just jump in and do, I would do Arbiter and then Morag as 2 free units. And I think you can do all of this the same, because the only bottleneck would be doing 20 Fire Knight if I didn't have him. Now, obviously, getting the extra resources from Tower quicker because of him definitely helped as well. But yeah, I think Arbiter and Morag would probably bridge the gap that you can do. I mean, Ice Golem level 20, I could 4-man that at the moment, just take him out and we're pretty much good to go on that one. As for Dragon, I think Dragon's not too bad as long as you get some of your masteries. I know a lot of people focus directly on poisons and stuff like that, but I do think the War Master and Giant Slayer procs on the Dragon really help for that, so I think you could auto your 20 with that as well. And that's kind of what I would look to if I didn't pull him. But because I pulled him, I'm like, listen, guys, I'm not going to just be stupid here and not build the guy.
Right,
He's an
yeah,
absolute
yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
The other thing was Alice. I made Alice my third 6-star. Never used her. As soon as she got to like that 5 soul range, because her gear's pretty average. Like she's in 2 farmable pieces and her chest is a defense %.
Yep.
So it was just all I had. But dude, the brimstone, because you get the free souls, is ridiculous. Like the damage that thing causes, and if you can speed tune it so that it gets the double proc on the clan boss, like she was almost doing as much damage as Nut was in my clan boss teams, where on Spirit Day I was doing 28 million, and on Void I was doing about anywhere from 23 to 27 million. So that's kind of the way the clan boss ran.
Can I claim the energy from the tournament or no? Because I can't see your dungeon teams. Okay.
Yeah, claim the tournament energy. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you ever heard of Boozer. He's like one of the free-to-play like gods in the game. And one time I was on his account, kind of highlighting something like this, and I claimed something. He's like, "No!" I'm like, "Oh my god, dude."
Yeah, here I have to save my energy. Looks like you collected my energy, so.
Oh, shoot, dude. I'm not all about the free-to-play life, so these little things, now I've learned to ask permission, you know?
Yeah, no, you're good.
All right, cool. So yeah, congratulations on you. Did you keep re-rolling this account until you got like, tell me about your early game strategy. I'm curious of like how you approached the very beginning. Obviously you have a download link. I'll include your download link. You got Ugo and Tagore, I imagine, and Eleanor. Is that?
Yeah, and Mausoleum Mage.
Damn,
Mausoleum
man,
Mage
they
was
hooked you
super
up.
clutch with that. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and the Mage, and then you use the Supreme 6 promo code for Supreme Galek.
Yes, and I used Gallic as my starter champion so that I could unlock the Orc Crypt for 7 days, and you basically punch straight up to crafting legendary gear on day 3 of your progression.
Wow.
Sorry, getting the legendary materials.
You really
and
did
if
max
you look
this
at, if you
thing.
go back to my Gallic, you can see the shield I crafted on day 3 on my Supreme Gallic, and so you get 7 days of farming like gear.
Wow. Yep.
And then his gloves as well. Like his gloves aren't crazy, but they were crit rate 6 stars.
Yep.
You know, with an extra roll into crit damage, like that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But like day 3 of an account, and you've got that, and then those 2 are farmable pieces down the bottom. I did re-roll because, and I wasn't planning to go for any Arbiter records or anything like that when I started playing. It's something I fell into when people told me, and because I'm a sweaty free to play, I was re-rolling anyway for the starter gear, the starter lifesteal gear that you get, to try and get the best stats on that one. So like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So you would go through the damn tutorial
yeah,
just to
I
get the
did
start,
about-
just to get that gear, just to get good stats. Again, how many times do you do it?
about 12 times.
Bro, you are sweaty, man. That's
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, so I was doing that on stream, and so yeah, that's sort of where I fell into, and
Okay.
I honestly think if you're a sweaty player, I think the best early game strategy is to definitely go Gallic as your starter. If you've got a Tagore in a download link, go Supreme Gallic, and you can just push the early game.
Over
Now,
some
I definitely
Wukong,
think.
obviously.
Well, I think the thing is Sun Wukong is more of a specialist, and he's going to bring way more value to you in the end game as a, you know, that PvP 3-turn revive. Like the dude is a monster there. But I think if you're looking at account progression, having an AoE burn, like you can run some Spiders 20 if you want. Like that stuff is like, I think 30 seconds is my record or something like that. You'll see like this is where Nut shines. Like the dude just like slaps it for 60% on like the first attack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Supreme Gallic for access into clearing content is just ridiculous. Having that AoE burn is massive. The fact that I get Eleanor as well with my link.
Yeah.
Those 2 synergize so well. Even in Clan Boss before I got Nut, Eleanor was on my max damage because she would apply the burns and Gallic would remove them, but then she would keep reapplying, so you would actually have the burns every turn as well. So they have a really good synergy there. But I think Gallic, you know, the block buffs, the speed slow as well, definitely don't look down on the speed slow. It's just a huge thing. Plus he's got his own attack buff, so you don't have to worry about having an attack buffer in to try and get good damage out of him as well. I just think he was so good for especially the early progression throughout the game. I think he was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, once again, if you're looking towards endgame, then I think maybe the Wukong is better. But I've seen too many people's accounts get bricked because they don't get an AoE burner and they're just like stuck on spiders.
It's so true.
So,
for progression and endgame, like you could still use Supreme Galek and endgame, Spider, endgame Ice Golem, endgame Hydra, so there's so much utility you can get out of him too that you could definitely make the case. I'm gonna keep everything here. Dude, I have like the
don't go selling much. We're limited.
I have this unconscious like just selling for my own account or whatever, Yeah. I wanted to ask, you played so many gacha games, man, more than anybody I know, right? How do you compare? I have two questions. Number one is, how does Raid compare free to play versus other games? Because the reputation is like it's the most predatory out of any game. Is that true?
So here's the thing. A game can be predatory, pay to win, but still be super free to play, enjoyable. Like, so this is where when people talk about free to play and stuff like that, it depends what sense. Like, are you going to be rank 1 free to play? No. If you start 6 years into the game, hell no. But like, can you have fun in it? Yes, you can have a ton of fun, and like, and at the end of the day, that's all I'm going for. So like, a lot of people, in the more casual game space, it's like, why, like Vulcan's the guy who wants PvP, and it's like, why do you want PvP? It's pay to win. I'm like, I'm free to play. I don't care. I just want to compete, have some fun. Like, I'm already loving live arena, and I'm in like bronze 3, like struggling, but it'll do a lot better.
That's super cool, man. That's super cool.
Yeah. So I think the game, honestly, the game is obviously pay to win.
Oh, duh.
When you look at some of the strategies they use in the running of their tournaments versus summoning pools and like trying to make you summon on this one, but then put the next event. So you're like, I've already noticed like that is so obvious. But for me, it's like, it's kind of like a little thing for me is like the more predatory and pay to win it gets, the more of a sense of achievement
like
you get through the challenge of the free to play experience. So that's kind of just the way I look at it, and I try not to stress on that stuff. So I think the predatory stuff more triggers mid-level spenders because you feel like they feel money. Like they're going to that next level. Whereas as a free to play, because I know I lock into every game free to play, I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, let's just do it. If you're gonna do that one, do 12.
Okay.
Do 12.
Okay.
I kind of got clapped on. That one was a little bit closer.
Well, I wasn't sure what teams and stuff you had set up and stuff.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. These guys, I only just started doing them because it's part of the Marius mission. So just before we logged in, I just rushed through as far as I could. I haven't even looked at the skills. I have no idea.
Enough.
Just slap me team in because I'm just like, I need to get these the potions for the Marius mission so that I can do the Force Day, which is today over in the Twins. So that's just where we're at there.
What surprised you, if anything, about Raid? As someone who played 7 years ago in beta, and then you had whatever preconceived notions that you had about this game. You played a billion other gacha games, and then you actually grinded for 30 days of nonstop Raid. What surprised you about the game? What did not, align with your expectations, whatever they were?
So I didn't have, like, I've always said with Raid, whenever I talk about it with anyone, I'm like, Raid is like, I feel like it's got a bad general perception because it marketed to non-gacha gamers first and it was a gacha game. It's not because it's a bad gacha game, it's just because it was a gacha game, and people who in the mainstream who they marketed to don't like microtransactions. Then it got this sort of stigma and it sort of stuck. So I've never had negative preconceived notions around Raid at all. Listen, I'm going to be honest. One of the you kill that Arbiter for me.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, that's all I can beat. I can only beat the single defenses. And like, if it's an Armon,
little showcase here.
If it's an Armon's above 60k, I get clapped. Like, dude.
Hey, man. Well, you have Arbiter now, so that's the good news, right? You can.
Yeah. Now we'll be able to cook, but
So you think? I mean, I agree with you. Like, they marketed it so aggressively for so long, everywhere. It didn't do any favors,
Yeah, and I
mean, I guess it did in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, I do think that it's one of those ones where it's just like this form of game. If you like this form of game, the grindy turn-based, then it's just a good game. Plus, like, I played WoW for like 7 years, so I love the aesthetic of characters in this. Everything like these days is there's a lot of anime stuff, and getting back to something, you got your orcs, you got your dragon type characters. Like, I love that kind of stuff. But the thing that really surprised me was how generous they give. Like, so there was two things that have surprised me. First, before I even made the channel, I was grinding through the game with an account where I didn't use a download link. I had nothing. And I was like, wow, they did not put any, like, there's not really any good farmable champions to get you to like where I wanted to get to. And I was like, that kind of sucks. But then what they do with the download links, it gave you the complete opposite experience. Like I always,
yeah,
I always re-roll in games, and the fact that like you could I could start with Tagore, who is just like I feel like if anyone could choose a support to start a game with, like Tagore's right up there.
Oh my God,
AoE, he just carries your whole team. So to be able to start with him and then also get the Mausoleum Mage, which I know Mausoleum Mage isn't as great late game, but the fact
he's still
it's
solid
like,
though, you know.
You know, the 3-turn cooldown defense buff in the early game with immunity, plus he's got cleanse, extra
the
healing,
heal,
and the gauge boost if you got multiple. Speed slow as well if you manage to proc it. Like, he is fantastic in especially the early game, and I got away with 2 books to max out his skill 2, and I never had to put any more in. I have thought about maxing out his skill 3 as well, but I just kind of left it for now, and I maxed out Tagore first and then Ugo. And then, I maxed out
and you got
Nut as well. Yeah.
So if all your legendary skill tomes went to Newt, makes sense.
Yeah, because I needed that attack break. I needed that attack break to be reliable. So
and you got High Keeper Prisma too.
Yeah, dude, I love this guy.
I don't have him.
Yeah,
you got a champ that I don't have.
And I don't want to sound like I'm jealous. I am.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. So we also got the other burner chick as well. So we actually did pretty well.
Yes, yeah.
We did pretty well with our summons. We didn't really get anything on voids. We got the one void epic, but that was about it.
Yeah, you got
so
yeah. What is your? Do you have another goal? Do you want to get the fastest? Are you going to grind Marius at this point? Are you going to grind Lydia? I mean, I guess Lydia. Like, what are you trying to do next?
I haven't really thought that through. I looked at the missions for Marius and the other guy. The other guy, like the first
Rama
one of the
too,
first missions is like I need to do Barbarians 14, and I got no Barbarians. Like I got a high Khatun now, so That one's gonna be like they both seem super bricky. Marius, it feels like you need like a fully stacked account to be able to do any of that. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. What I kind of want to do next is like, because I've recorded it, snapshotted all the stats and gear that I had. I kind of want to test like maybe building out like my next 6-star will be Arbiter. There's no doubt about it. But then I might build up that Armature, build up that Morag, and then go test all those dungeons at level 20 to prove that you can do it with those champions. And so if you want to be completely free to play and use only free units, well then that is the direct, because that's what I was originally trying to do. But then I got Nut, and like I didn't set out to do this Arbiter record. I just fell into it a week in. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna need this guy to give me that little boost. Otherwise, I might be a bit slow.
Well, I'm sure people are gonna be like, yeah, he has Nut. Of course, you set the record. But the truth is, man, is like you're gonna get. I mean, all new accounts get some legendaries because they juice the odds. So hopefully you're going to get a good one. You're going to take advantage of it no matter what you do, you know? I like that you mentioned like the catch-up mechanic of the free champions that they give players now. Like Supreme Galek was so huge. Like getting that burner was so huge. I wanted to ask you though, early game, I mean, you're probably familiar with like all the standard advice, you know, like where to farm in campaign, where to, you know, I noticed that maybe you took some unorthodox approaches in some areas of the game, like not grinding gear from dungeons, for example. I saw that video on your channel. Tell me a little bit of the unconventional wisdom you might have, especially with the context of starting in today's day and age, that you didn't follow or that you changed.
Okay, so some things that are contrary to what most people would recommend is in the market, you buy every uncommon and every what's the mystery shard. You buy all of those. Okay. Because otherwise, and that's if you're trying to rush this stuff. And because otherwise you just don't have the fodder to build up champions.
Okay.
There's
because you ranked up a lot in 30 days, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
So I was buying every single one of them. Now, if you're trying to play a bit more conservative, you don't have to do that. But I find that people that go ahead and grind early gear, that silver that you're spending on those uncommon champions, other people are just wasting on trash gear. So that was kind of my approach. And then so the only things that I farmed outside of where a challenge or a mission told me to farm something else was farming up fodder and then doing masteries, because you had to do masteries as well. You had to get 5 champions to tier 6 mastery, and obviously I skipped 2 of the tier 5s on all of them. But yeah, the big thing is, like, literally you do not touch dungeons. Dungeons just like I had a few people like getting angry at me because they're like, oh, but gear is the most important thing. I'm like, yes, gear is the most important thing, but what the hell is the point of farming Dragons 13 and getting Jack out of it when instead you're at the point where you can max, it's all about efficiency. I look at these games in efficiencies. So like, why would I go and farm 1,000 stamina into Dragons 13 and get a couple little upgrades when I am max efficiency farming campaign for fodder and also Minotaurs for masteries? If that Dragons team that you are using at 13 is not all full 6-star, full ascended, and full masteries, then why are you going to farm that when you're going to have to farm those 6-stars and those masteries at some stage? Why not farm those first and then come back to Dragons? And by that stage, you're probably doing 20, 25.
Make that progress, get the better gear. Yeah.
Even now on the account, I just don't feel the urge to jump in there because the game gives you so much good gear in other places. It's ridiculous. And like by cheesing your way into Gold Arena, like I've gotten a bunch there. You get a bunch through the Arbiter missions as well, obviously. You just get them like so much good gear.
Follow your missions and your dailies and upgrade the champions that you need to make the progress so you can farm good gear later down the line, basically. That's like the strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then there's like a few key things towards just the Arbiter missions. Like, you've got to make sure that like after you build your first 4 champions, your next 4 are 1 of each affinity, and that you don't ascend them to 6-star because you've got those Arbiter missions to do 1 of each element to 6-star and stuff like that. So there's all those like the Arbiter missions have a bunch of traps, and you've really got to lay it out and plan for it. You can't see them anymore, unfortunately.
Did you go through and basically do that a little bit? Did you skip ahead? Did you plan the entire thing out? How much?
Yeah, dude, like I mapped it all out on the calendar with like how many like I was
hold that up again. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's my cleaner, simpler one. I had a more messy one written down, but yeah, I just I had it all mapped out, and like I had written down because like I didn't push arena at the start, and like that's the most important thing. Otherwise, you get buckled down on arena.
Yeah.
And so like I was like mapping out day by day based on the 39 free attacks that you get for arena, how many points I would have. So I calculated how many extra arena attacks I would have to buy to get it in time, and that's why I was living off my 15-minute timer. Just like timer goes off, okay, let's check, is there a free win? Nope. Let's
damn man
check back, is there a free win? And you just had to like, it was like my life for especially like the last week and a half to 2 weeks. But you can mitigate that if you focus on it early. Like I said, I just fell into this, so I was a bit behind in arena with doing that.
Dude, that is insane. It's like an absolutely amazing accomplishment, and it's really cool to see. It's cool to see you covering Raid, honestly. And guys, you should subscribe to Vulcan's YouTube channel. I'll have it linked, obviously. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that I should have? Any tips, advice, thoughts, anything before we let you go?
Nothing too much. The most recent one that I found is that in the scroll across, what's the new mode that I just unlocked at 52? Scroll across, Curse City. Curse City. Yeah. You got to be careful when you unlock new modes because they often get thrown into the advanced quests. And so if you push things too much, you might miss out on an advanced quest. So I completed them all today, but there's one that's like clear 2 stages in the Curse City. Yeah. Luckily, that thing is resetting soon because I just don't have the wide champion roster to be able to clear enough stages of that thing. And so if you couldn't do that, you'd be missing out like on a full energy refill and all those extra rewards like every day. So I know that once the Curse City resets, I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to do 2 per day so that I can always get those missions done and keep getting that stuff. And there's a lot of little things like that in Raid that you've just got to, it's the little things that you don't think of and they can really trap you. Yeah, but the other thing was the
operations, so to speak.
Yeah, the other thing was the Great Hall. That was the only other thing I did different to a lot of people. So I did the Void just because I had the Supreme Gallic. And so my theory was that for dungeons, I thought maybe I was going to have to use the Bellower as like just wave control, essentially, like farm up a stun set for him and use that. So that was the other reason. Plus then once I got Arbiter, then I could focus purely on speed and not have to worry about, any other stats on her. So that was what I did. I think there's a lot of unintuitive things in those Arbiter missions. Like why are we building up a level 10 and forsaking everything else? I feel like they should change that mission to work out how many gold medals it costs quests and be like, get the entire thing to like level 4 or level 5. I feel like that would be like, if for missions that are supposed to guide you on how to play the game, like that.
Right? Do they still have the one that's like put an attack base or put a defense based champion in attack gear or something like that? I'm not sure.
Those are in the challenges. Yeah. But
okay.
you gotta like put specific sets. You can see.
Yeah, those are pretty bad too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see there's one there. I don't have the regen set.
It's been a minute, man.
Yeah. So
what are you saving all these gems for, man? What are you saving all these gems for?
Well, that was through the last push. I was down to about 700, I think, and because I was saving them in case I needed to buy extra attacks in the Demon Lord.
Yep.
And then you got like, I got a bunch through the last few missions. You get like 800 through the last few missions. So I just burnt that. Now I'm kind of
max
saving
level gem mine too.
That's what shows that I didn't plan for this, because if you're trying to rush Arbiter, like if I was doing it as a mission to get it as soon as possible, I would have skipped the gem mine, because for your first month it's negative efficiency. But you know, I did go ahead and buy that out because I wasn't planning on doing.
Did you
this.
Did you buy your first champion's masteries?
Yes, I definitely think that is definitely the way to go. It's just it gets you through some early mastery missions and makes you not have to farm it. And obviously it makes farming way easier. I had him on a farming build early. Now I've just got him on a clan boss build. But yeah, it does really help you with that early progression.
I'm still giving that advice. I needed a sanity check here 5 years, 6 years later to make sure it's still valid. So glad to hear it is.
Because it gets you to farming. So like I quickly got to farming like basically 2-man with Supreme Gallic and anyone on stage 15 of
and it all goes towards that
Minotaur.
champion.
And so then your max efficiency. So like I said, it's all about efficiencies for me along the way. The only other thing I probably would have changed was my order of getting the masteries. I sort of like didn't plan that ahead, because you really want to focus on just the masteries for your clan boss team. So you can see I did Mausoleum Mage. Probably shouldn't have done him. Should have gone straight for the Ugo, because I use her in the clan boss. But like that's like a nitpicky thing that I would have gone for. Now Tagore, you can put him on a clan boss build, but he's, in my opinion, like the dungeon carry build is just so good for him, because he literally carries your dungeons. Like he's just the absolute beast. So even though I could get more damage out of him, I'm not going to reset him, because I just like his build. Until I get a much more stacked account, I think that's where he wants to sit. Just make him fast as hell and as much HP as possible. I know 236 speed is pretty slow for you, but dude, for me, that's damn fast.
No, that's super fast for early game. For first month, golly, man. It's crazy, because this is way back in the day, Plarium was like, okay, who do you think we should give for a champion to entice new players to download raid, right? And I was like naming all the good ones, you know, like Geo, they're like, he's way too good. No. Then I'm like, okay, Seer, maybe Seer, like, no way. And then, you know, they were like Grizzled Jarl, they're like Vergis, they're like Zargala, Tyrell. Those are who we had to choose from. And then I gave them a big list, like top 10 or whatever of epics. And then they had this, it turns out they had this, and look at all these red dots, bro. You're killing me.
Dude, I can't claim those. That is too tedious. There needs to be like, you don't even get anything for it. It's like what's the point?
I know, they should give you like a gem, 10, like other games, right? They give you like a few gems or whatever. But anyway, they had this like internal cheat sheet of the type of like the level of, they had like grades for all their champions. They wouldn't give out champions that are too good, right? And but I found flaws on their sheet, because they had like Ugo and Tagore, they had as like B tier, like allowed to give away. And I'm like, yeah, we'll go with Ugo and Tagore, man. And like, I don't know. I mean, well, I'm glad they did, but it's just like, it's insane to me that some of the champions they say no to, and then like, Ugo and Tagore, like two of the best ones out there. Do you think Tagore is like your MVP out of epics?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, like if you didn't have that revive, like there's no way you'd be doing the stuff you do without pulling some other amazing units. Like he just carries. And the great thing about him is, in the early game, like I'm talking like week 1, week 2, you can just bring champions that you need for specific purposes. Like you know, in one of, I think it's the Spirit Dungeon, you need a heal block. So I just brought that rare guy you were just looking up. Just go up the top left. So Rocktooth has a heal block. So I literally just ascended one to 3-star ascended. It was 3-star, and I just took him into the spirit dungeon when I had to do it, and then you just revive him with the Tagore. You just need to land that one heal block, and then you can clear the dungeon. Otherwise, like, that thing would just heal through the damage that I could deal. So it's like Tagore just lets you cheese around so much, and yeah, he's just an absolute beast. The fact that he can sustain a whole team is ridiculous. And the clutch thing is, like, even like his basic attack with that single target defense buff comes in so clutch in a lot of situations as well.
Dude, everything that he brings to the game, in the early game especially, but everywhere in the game, the increased defense, the damage mitigation, the increased speed to start out with that on the 3-turn cooldown, and the revive and the shit. Like, dude, yeah, he's next level, man. He's next level.
Even like to the point, like that speed buff, that, like, obviously it's not a gauge boost, but it's the best thing I've had for arena. And so, like, real-time arena, I've actually done pretty decently. I think I've had an arena unlocked for maybe 5 or 6 days, and I've maybe got into bronze 3, which isn't crazy, but I've been getting my 5 daily wins, which is great because that chest is giving me 6-star gear every day.
That's insane, right?
Like 2 pieces of 6-star gear.
Forget about all the ways you can get gear.
Yeah, and dude, and
you know, like in this game, to your point. Yeah.
And the set's the 12 speed and percent chance to reduce cooldowns. I'm like that's a good set as well. So it's working well for me. And yeah, I've just been using him as my speed lead. Luckily, my whole team's pretty close speed tuned, and just that speed buff is enough often to get him ahead. And then Gallic can use his speed slow, and then that normally lets the rest of my team like catch up before they move. So I mean, he's just been working really well. But obviously now Arbiter's going to take that spot. But you know, it's going not too bad.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, congratulations. Guys, perfect time. Vulcan has a ton of videos. You can actually go back and look at his entire journey to get his Arbiter in 30 days. It's insane, man. Thanks for coming on, sharing your story, and wishing you the best and Raid. I'm sure it won't be the last time that we have you on the channel, man.
No, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming on, on the other side of the world during the day of your brother's wedding on the weekend. So that really means a lot, man. Thank you. And guys, go give Vulcan some love. His link will be in the pinned comment and the description. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.